Hello, Urvashi. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah, am I visible? I can't see myself.
Ex Urvashi, hang on. I think there is a slight disturbance in the network because your video is kind of frozen. So
Okay,
let's just wait for a while. Hello, Sagar. How are you? Okay, it's working well now. So hello once
okay.
again, Urvashi. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How have you been?
Great. I've been excellent. Thank you so much. And so it's a great opportunity for me to get to interact with you because my team spoke highly of you, and just to
Yeah.
let the viewers know about how we got in touch. So I think
Hmm.
you were imparting you were imparting a live session for I think I don't know, it was some college I believe, and
Okay.
my team saw you in that session. They were like you were making sense with the things that you were saying, and then they pitched you the idea of getting in touch with me, and
Hmm.
then that's how we connected. So
Yes.
Urvashi, just
I'm
tell
glad
the
they
people
said
who.
what. Sorry, continue.
No, I was
I
just
was
going to
just
say that
saying, yeah, I was just
tell
saying
the
I'm glad they
people a
said
little bit about you.
whatever. Yes, and I'm just glad what that your team mentioned that whatever I said made sense because oftentimes I feel whatever am I saying is it making sense to people who are hearing me because with live nothing is planned and we just go organic we just go as per whatever the conversation takes us. So I'm really glad that your
Sure.
team was happy with my live session. So a little bit about me to your viewers. I'm Urvashi Chawla, and like you mentioned, I'm a career strategist. So I've been helping people to transition from the campus college life to more of a corporate world. How do you get acquainted with professionalism? How do you talk to your boss and how do you crack your interviews, resume, all of that? So right from the starting step of thinking about getting a job to actually growing in your career. So that's where
Mhm.
I love to talk about those things, soft skills, and I'm also a certified behavioral skills trainer. So I try to mix that up with my training programs for campus to corporate.
Wonderful,
If you could
wonderful.
also introduce yourselves to my viewers, that would be great.
Yes, I would love to do
Yes.
that. So my name
Yes.
is Syed Karhani. I am a talent development expert and happiness scientist. I've got a little over 14 years of experience, and my core areas of expertise are training and development, organizational consulting, and off late I've been helping people find prosperity while helping them keep happiness at the core of all that they do. I am an entrepreneur and I'm the founder of Indian Training Company. And this journey began in 2016, September 2016, and it's been an amazing ride so far. At Indian
Wow.
Training Company, what we're doing is we're helping people develop their knowledge, skills, and abilities so that they and the organizations that they work for can succeed and grow. And at present, Indian Training Company's mission is to provide world class level training and coaching to individuals and organizations across the globe, especially in emerging economies and in emerging markets, so that we can really make a positive impact and we can help them learn skills which are relevant to their economic ecosystem, and that could help them grow and their communities grow and their societies grow, and as a ripple effect, we can help this world become a better
Hmm.
place. So that's a little bit
That's
about me.
amazing. Yes, I think what
And
you're doing is
you
truly
mentioned.
amazing. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. And you mentioned that you're into soft skills. So
Mhm.
let's start the discussion from there because I've been into soft skills training from a long time, and I've seen a lot of people
Yes.
impart soft skills training, and people have got different views of soft skills training programs. So first, tell
Yes.
me, how do you look at soft skills, and then tell
Mhm.
me what has your experience been so far while training people on soft skills, especially from the learning absorption point of view.
Okay. So a lot of people consider soft skills as to be more of only external appearance and the way you communicate your English. But for me, soft skills starts from within, how you are as a person. Are you a soft-spoken person by nature, or are you just pretending to be very polite and gentle, only at times? So for me, soft skills is more in the terms of being empathetic, understanding others around you and communicating with them with empathy is soft skills according to me. And not just how you dress up, but how you treat yourself. Do you treat yourself respect to, care about what you wear? Then you have soft skills. If it is just, okay, someone taught you should wear a blazer and that's why you're wearing a blazer, then it is not really, you've not really developed the skill as such. So it is more about the mindset. It is more about caring about yourself and also about people around you. And if you can do that with respect, with empathy, then I think you have learned and understood what soft skill is. So that is my view. What according to you would you consider as soft skills?
So I'll give you my take on it. Before I
Mm-hmm.
do that, I would like you to answer the second part of my question as well.
Mm-hmm.
What has your experience been in terms of knowledge absorption when you've been training people on soft skills? How do you think they accept the information that you give them related to soft skills?
Okay. So I oftentimes, even in my training, say this that soft skills looks like something which is very simple. Okay. For example, when I talk about interview skills and I say that, you should smile when you enter, I think this is something that everybody knows that it is to be done, but nobody actually follows it. Nobody actually executes
Yeah.
it because there's so many reasons. Sometimes you don't care enough. Sometimes you don't, you're so nervous that you don't realize. So soft skills is something that one needs to be aware about, consciously keep a check on. So that is something which is difficult for a lot of audience to grasp and execute. Theoretically,
Yeah.
everything looks simple and everyone, feels, yeah, soft skills, I don't want to pay for it. It's something that I already know. But it is the practice, it is, actually doing it when the time comes where you really need to learn soft skills. Someone to tell you that,
Yeah.
hey, that was not correct. So in one of my session, I actually made them enter the room multiple times because every time they would, there would be something that would be missing. So it is only when
Yeah.
you do it, when you practice it, when you have a mentor with you who can actually, observe and tell you what needs to be worked upon, then the acceptance comes. Otherwise, it's I think audience are quite reluctant on learning or paying for sessions on soft skills. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree, and I liked what you said about people's reluctance on learning soft skills and how they believe that they just know everything,
Yes.
and there's
Yes.
no room for more knowledge. I completely agree with that.
Exactly.
And because soft skills is not one thing. It's such a broad topic, and there are so many things.
Yes.
There are so many factors. There are so many components that come together to make this. And
Exactly.
just my take on soft skills and what I've learned so far. So this is for the viewers. So there's something called hard skills and there's something called soft skills. Hard skills are like
Yes.
more technical stuff, such as you learning MS Excel or you learning MS Office or you learning MS PowerPoint or maybe some other software. And soft skills are the interpersonal skills, the people skills, or the mannerisms that you develop through experience, through learning, through visual inputs. All those components, they come together to make your soft skills. And contrary to popular belief that hard skills are what make you big in the workplace, it's not true. It's actually the soft skills that take you to the next level. In fact, I was reading this LinkedIn survey, and according to LinkedIn, more than 80%, that's the impact of soft skills on your career success, and
Yes.
less than 20% is what hard skills matter. And when it comes to behavior and communication, that number rises up to 90%. The
Right.
impact of behavior and communication is more than 90%, that the impact that it makes on your success. So
Exactly.
you also mentioned behavior.
Yes.
Let's take a quick look on behavior as well. How do you
Right.
define human behavior?
Okay. So, I'll come back to your previous point that you said the impact of soft skills, behavioral skills, and communication skills in their career. So, if I don't trust a person, I wouldn't want to give him the task, even if I've heard and read about him that, he's very good at his task, whatever hard skill he's being hired for. I won't trust him to give that job. And if I'm not trusting him, I may, not give him the task. And that's why his career is stuck somewhere. So that's why I said, soft skills is you work with people, you work for people. So unless the people want to work with you, they reciprocate the same thing and they trust you with the job at hand, your career will be stuck. So that's where behavior come into picture is how people perceive you and how do you what kind of image are you creating for them and what kind of mannerism are you showing, are you a quick learner or not, because when people hire someone, even if they don't know the task and if they have the curiosity, if they have the behavior where they show that they want to learn, they're willing to learn and they will gel up with the team, then the recruiters
Yeah,
are inclined towards hiring that person. So it's in the end it's about do you fit into the company or wherever you want to work with or for. Even as an entrepreneur, your clients want to know if this product, if this company fits in with what I'm looking for. So human behavior is, I think, that connection that you have with other humans,
yeah,
how your mindset works, and are you able to communicate those things with the recruiter or anyone. So that's where human behavior comes into picture. Are you a quick learner? Are you a general person? Are you an aggressive person? Because if I'm hiring you for something which is on the front end, talking to customers or something, and if you're an arrogant person or if you're an aggressive, that's your behavior, then people don't want to hire you even if you're good at sales. So I think those kind of behavioral aspects come into picture during interviews and a lot of other things, which helps you to kind of see what kind of person he is and how will he react in a particular situation. So that would be
absolutely,
something as a human behavior. So it's a very broad
absolutely
term. I
spot
have to
on.
think about it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. See, this 1 hour Instagram live can never do justice to our discussion on behavior. It can go for at least eight
Right.
hours, and it requires a full day training program to understand, not even
Yes.
full day, in fact. But yeah, we would be able to establish certain base points in a full day training session.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Behavior is again, just like soft skills, behavior again is it's a component made up of different aspects, and again, there are external factors involved, there are internal factors involved.
Exactly.
uh, but when we talk about organizations, so there's obviously knowledge, there's skills, there are abilities. So these are the three categories through which we measure a person's, that a person's competencies are divided into. And then, of course, in
Right.
order to measure those key areas, there are behavioral indicators. So, just for our audience, just to make it easier for them, behavior is anything you say and anything you do. That's the
Right.
easiest way to understand how behavior is perceived by people. So it's anything
Right.
you say and
Right.
anything you do that becomes your behavior. And of course, behavior originates
So
from the
very
level of thought.
interestingly, mhm,
Yeah. So I was just saying behavior originates from the level of
yes,
thoughts, and then of course it transforms into behaviors. And then our behaviors, they transform into actions. That's what I was about to say. You were saying something.
yes. So very interestingly, you said everything you say and everything you do, because a lot of time people perceive behavior as only your actions. But I think it is
Yeah.
also about what you say. right? Would you like to
Yep.
point out on those things? Like, a lot of time people just say your actions is your behavior, how you're behaving, how you're acting out is your behavior. But I personally do believe that it is also what you say. So anything that you would like to talk about in those terms? How is it also what you say?
Absolutely. So I can start talking about Albert Ellis, and I can talk about people like Eric Erikson who have
Mm-hmm.
talked about development psychology and behavior in great details. But I do not
Mm-hmm.
want this session to go into that direction because I promise the viewers that this session is going to be more on the how lines of how to get a job, how
Right.
to make your resume. So, but again, of course, I'll
Mm-hmm.
answer your question. I'll not
Yes.
avoid it. So Albert Ellis was he was the pioneer, in fact, of the rational emotive behavior therapy. And when he was studying behavior, so his one of his key experiments revolving around behavior is to go into public and say embarrassing things. And there are certain examples of embarrassing things that he could have said, just like saying that I just pooed my pants, something like that, which is highly
Okay.
embarrassing and you would not say in public. So,
Yes.
which means that Albert Ellis saw a clear connection between the things that a person is saying
Mm-hmm.
and its relation to how the person's overall behavior is getting affected, because saying is also a part of your behavioral dynamics. Then of course body
Right.
language comes in, your neurobiology comes in, your biochemistry pitches in. That all
Right.
of that is a part of behavior, because when we talk about
Right.
behaviors, we're directly talking about emotions, and your emotions are obviously your body's biochemistry
Yes.
reacting to the physical circumstances or the external circumstances. So as soon as your biochemistry changes, you change completely. And
Right.
when
Right.
you change completely, so your voice changes, your body language changes, the way you are standing or the way you're speaking, everything changes. So there is a
Right.
direct correlation between speaking
What you say,
and
yes.
your behaviors.
Right. So
So
the
now coming
cosmic
coming,
chaos is also asks a
I'm sorry,
similar
yes.
question. Anything you say, how does it become behavior? Yes.
Yeah. So I think she got her answer that
Yes. So
saying things is
I
actually a sub part of behaviors.
yeah. Would you consider how would you say arrogance or someone is arrogant is his behavior? So how would you know if someone is arrogant? His communication style is being aggressive and not assertive. So if someone is blunt. So you kind of talk about their behavior when you talk about these things, and these things come out through communication, through the way they speak. So yes, there is a direct relation between what you say and your behavior.
Always, always.
Yes.
So Urvashi, now let's tap into your core area of expertise more, and
Mm-hmm.
let's understand from you first that a lot of my followers have been reaching out to me, and
Mm-hmm.
recently I did this amazing training series of training sessions for this university in Indonesia and
Mm-hmm.
IIT Bombay, and
Mm-hmm.
people were asking me that in these days the economic landscape is kind of not good, so how
Right.
would we go about getting jobs? So since you're a
Right.
career strategist, that's your key area of expertise. I want you to just uh, share your views on it, and maybe if you can just guide people on how should they go about getting a job.
Yes. So I think it was Stephen Covey or some book where he talked about circle of control, circle of influence, and things beyond that, right? So there are
Yep,
things
yep,
which are in your control. There are certain things which you can only influence, and there are certain things which are beyond that, beyond your control. So instead of
yep.
focusing on things which you cannot work on, being upset about things which you cannot work on, I would rather focus on things what I can do at present. Okay, the things have gone wrong, but what is it that I can do? So always, ask this question. whatever is the situation, what can I do? So in this, the pandemic situation, the job market is shrinking, and it's true, people are losing their job, and a lot of even people, who have job are not getting promotions. So at this stage, I would use this as a break time where I can upskill myself. A lot of every time we were so into running the race that we couldn't stop and see what the direction is. How are we running to analyze our progress so far to actually make a decision for future. So take it in that perspective. Think of this period where you can actually work on things which you couldn't work on before. For example, your resume. All this time since you were working somewhere and now you have to shift to another job. So you never put in that much effort in making a new resume. You simply edit that, send it, look for a job, and meanwhile work on in your present company. So this is your time. You have the time at your hand, and time is an important asset, they say. So use it wisely and use it to prepare yourself for the future. Right? A lot of people, when they ask you where do you see yourself in 5 years, people have no clue because they depend on external situation. But I think no matter what the situation, there are certain things which will stay constant with you, and that is yourself, right? So you know where do you see yourself in 5 years, no matter what the situation is, you can be absolutely sure that I'm going to upskill myself. Maybe I won't become a manager, but I will have the managerial ability. I will learn to be a manager. I will take up some leadership roles just so that when the opportunity comes, when the situation finally turns normal, you are ready with it, because race is going to start. Then this is your time for preparation. So uh, you cannot be okay, there's no race, I should not prepare. You still have to continue your preparation. So I think this is the best time to upskill yourself and work on your resume. Two things that you can definitely do for your career right now, and
Okay. So
use your
upskilling
time
and working on
wisely.
the resume.
Resume, yes.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. So like I
Okay.
said,
And
time is
you're
an
also
asset,
saying
use
that
it wisely. Yes.
right, right. I totally agree with that one. I tell people that time is the biggest currency and
Mhm.
knowledge is the biggest commodity. So use
True.
time to purchase more knowledge. And
Community,
in
right.
today's era, we are exchanging knowledge for gains. Gone are the days when we were selling products. These days,
Right.
we're selling our knowledge. This is the age of information. So
Exactly.
you said that we should upskill, we should work on our resume, and we should use
Mhm.
time wisely. So let's take the
Yes.
first things first. How to
Mhm.
upskill? Can you just guide people a little bit on how should they use this time to upskill themselves?
Right. So I think when I talk about upskill, a lot of people, what they do is one certification course after another, just so that after pandemic they can say, oh, I've done 5 certifications. But I don't call that upskilling. I would still say it was
Yeah,
a waste of time because you did not really develop a skill. So I think
yeah,
yes, eventually when you grow up, you have to focus on a lot of things. You have to kind of be a jack of all trades. You should at least have minimum information of different fields, but at least be really good at one skill. Okay, if that skill is digital marketing, be really good at it. Know in and out about digital marketing. If that skill is public speaking, know in and out about it. Whatever your skill is, focus on one skill and make sure that you are really good at it. Don't just have a bunch of, a complete stack of certificates in your profile. Have skill, right? You should have that much confidence to say that, you ask me anything about digital marketing, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to answer it. Okay, so try and reach to that level, and try pick a line and choose that. So if you're let's say you're focusing on digital marketing, of course, 1 month you won't become a master, but try to get an
yeah.
opportunity up to that skill. If your skill is at 20-30%, get an internship. If your skill is at 40-50%, get a entry level job. If you are excelling, you can then grow in your career. And while doing that, just have a basic information about other things, so that basic information, that means you can at least communicate about those things. You can ask questions, correct questions about those things. That's enough. So don't just go on doing different certificates and say that, hey, I've upskilled myself. it's also important that you start applying that. Even when I read book, I don't read an entire book in a day. I read it till the point that I, find something that I have to apply. Just to share a small example, I was watching this, recent show, Bandish Bandit. So I've heard a lot about that show, and I thought, let me watch that series. And I watched only one episode, and I stopped because in that show they were talking about, I forget his name. I guess Nasiruddin Shah. I'm not sure about the name,
Hmm.
so apologies on that. So he is the Sangeet Samrat, and they were talking about him
Hmm.
that he has been practicing the skill on daily basis, and he hasn't taken a break. He was being awarded for Padma Shri or something, but he did not go because he didn't want to lose his practice, and that moved me. So I stopped watching that show, and since that day I've been trying to devote at least 30 minutes to my skill. So unless that is happening, I'm not going to continue watching that show. So it's not just gaining knowledge and putting things in your mind. It's you need to stop and first apply that thing. So even if I read a book, if I find something, unless I'm applying it, I'm not reading further. Even with the book How to Talk to Anyone, 92 Tricks, I keep suggesting people to read that book, and I've not finished that book because with 92 tricks,
Hmm.
I'm still at I don't know 7 or 8 trick or something, and I'm applying that. So execution is the key. Learn while I do that, I also keep reading about digital marketing just for time pass. As a leisure activity. I come across a blog, and the passive learning. I follow some people on digital marketing and other things. So I do acquire those knowledge, but I'm not going to go and do a certificate and waste my time on that. So I think that is one particular thing that I've seen a lot of people have a misconception about upskilling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I really like how you uh, balanced it out in different steps. The first step is of course uh, taking action, and without taking action, nothing happens. And
Mm-hmm.
then taking the time to understand those things, and then of course being dedicated. Yeah,
Yes.
patience, perseverance, and persistence are the three P's that really propel you out of this
Yes.
earth. Um, so that's how you develop your skills, and that's how people can upskill. I'm sure people would have found value in what you said. The second thing you mentioned was to develop their resumes. People should develop their
Yes.
resumes. So talk about that. How can people, make their resumes look like absolutely superstar resumes?
Yeah, watch my video. So yeah, I think to work on your resume, there are two things that you have to keep in mind. First is whether you want to apply through ATS filters, whether you're applying through some portals or to big companies. You should be aware that they're going to use ATS filters, softwares to filter out the resume. So then your resume has to be
ATS
in that aspect. Yes.
ATS is applicant tracking system, just for people who don't know that.
Yes. Yes, applicant tracking systems is basically a software which would help recruiters to filter out resume. So if you have to understand what is your job strategy. If you're applying to those companies, then your resume, you'll have to keep that in mind while making the resume. And if you are in a more of creative field or you're applying directly to small firms and companies, which you think that they're not using software, there's going to be a manual inspection of your resume, then you can be a little more creative. So keeping that in mind is very important. And second thing, which I've seen a lot of people come to me and ask me is how do I make a resume? I'm looking for 5 different kind of jobs. So you cannot sell yourself saying, hey, I can do this also, I can do that also. You have to understand what the company is looking for. If a company needs someone who is an excellent, no, let's say Python developer, very particular thing, then your resume should speak
Yeah.
to them and say that, hey, you know what, I'm the best, I'm really good at particular skill, and sell yourself accordingly. If you just be very generic on your resume, a recruiter, I've actually seen resumes after looking and reading at the resume, I don't know what kind of job are they looking for. And similarly, if a recruiter comes across your resume, he won't know which domain, which department to put you in. So even if your resume
Right.
is good, like you've done a lot of good things, and I see, okay, this guy or this girl is really talented, but I don't know what is his talent. Where should I put him? Where should I use him in my company? So because of that, people are also losing out their opportunities. That's the
Hmm.
second mistake that people are making their resume too generic. They're not themselves sure what kind of job are they looking for, and so is a recruiter, and that's why they're just left behind. One other mistake about the resume is that people don't put the information which they want to put. They just whatever is there in template, they will just add that. Template says that I have to put my project, so I will put. But are the projects relevant? If you have done a lot of extracurricular activities, why don't you highlight that? Some people would just write it in one line that I've been, let's say, this is a real example. There was someone who was looking for event management role, and she's a fresh graduate, and she's worked a lot in extracurricular activities, managing her college events and everything. But in her resume, she's mentioned about her co-curricular activities, about the projects which are not relevant for an event management curricular activities. She'll just mention it in a line. So when a recruiter looks at it, he might just, skip over, because he might think, okay, she's more of a technical girl with projects and all. So even when we have the capability of getting a job, if you're not presenting it right, you're losing out on opportunities. So, you can, I think, devote some time and some thought to understand what job you need. So someone is asking, can you help me with how to overcome
Yes.
failure in career? Yes, would you like to take
Yes.
this side? Yes.
I can give them a answer to this one. See, buddy, I don't know. First of all, I don't know what level of your career you're at. I don't know, Rajai Urvashi. Okay. So, see, my answer to you is if you're just getting into college and you're worried about overcoming failure in your career, you've got a lot of time. You know, you can, if you're 22 years old and you're worried about failure, so you can at least fail 8 different times till the time you're 30 years old. You can fail once a year, or you can fail twice a year. You can fail 16 different times till the time you're 30, and you'll still be good. You'll still have a lot of time to make it big. If you're 25 years old, if you're 30 years old, it does not matter. Um, I don't know how you define failure, but I define failure as the inability to come back again. So if you are unable to come back into the game again, that is the only stage that I would classify as failure. However, if you've got the energy, if you've got the mindset to get back up again and get back walking again, you're not failing. If you've lost your job probably during the COVID-19 period. So Urvashi has just shared some great points. Uh, please upskill yourself. Please work on your resume. She's given some great inputs on how you can upgrade your resume. Uh, please become a specialist, as Urvashi said. Become a specialist. Do not become a generalist. If you're becoming a generalist, people would not know where to put you. If you're a specialist, people will absolutely know, which box you're going into. Do you guys remember that Tetris game in which different shapes were falling? And
Yes.
in order to win, you had to like put the specific cube into a specific area. So that's how life
Yes.
is. That's how you get jobs as well. You need to know which shape you are. If you're a square, you're going into a square space. If you're one of those like states, I don't know, weird lines
Yeah.
with a small
The
thing
T
hanging.
shape. Yeah, yeah.
If you're one of those shapes, you're going there. So the idea is that failure is only when you stop coming back again. But if you've got the energy, if you've got the mindset, if you've got the spirit to come back again, you're not failing. Okay, and never take
Right.
failure as a stopping point. That's just a way for you to learn. Just keep failing again. I failed hundreds of times.
Yes.
when I was in school,
Exactly.
I think it was in my last Instagram live discussion. I shared that I used to fail a lot when I was in school, and all through school, my teachers used to believe that I would never be able to do anything in life, and they were sure about that, and I was also sure about that, and I used to fail a lot, but it didn't matter. Okay, I became something, and today I've reached a level where I interact with people who have studied in the IIMs, IITs, and they respect me because I provide value to them. Okay, we've got more questions here, Urvashi.
Right.
What are the
So
main
I think I'll
aims
just like to,
of mentorship?
yeah, I'll just like to yeah, before that, I'd like to add to what Rajai Urvashi is saying. So something which helped me is to not compare myself to others. And she mentioned that she failed twice in her CA. So you're comparing yourself with people who cleared CA in the first attempt, with the people you were with them. Don't compare yourself with them. Compare yourself with the people you are going to compete in this CA exam. Okay, this is their first time. This is your whatever time it is, but you are in that competition. So this has personally helped me because when I lost my job, I was comparing myself to others who are earning pretty well, and being an engineering student, everybody the common pay scale for engineers here is around 25-30, and I was at 7 or 10K. So kind of feels bad. Everyone's progressing. They're working in MNCs, and I got and I leave that MNC job, so it did feel bad at that time. But stop comparing yourself with others. This is just take it as you're different. This is you're competing with them, and you have to succeed at this time. So it's okay. So every time, I think that kept me motivated. So might help you as well. And the other question, I think, yes, what the meaning of mentorship? Yes. So, I have an image coming into my mind for mentorship where someone has jumbled up thoughts and the mentor is actually helping them sort out those thoughts. So, I don't know if you've seen that image, but I think that is what mentorship is to me, where you learn, you do. Mentor is just there to help you see the picture clearly because when you are running the race, you cannot analyze yourself. But if there's a third person observing it, they can analyze and they have the best interest at their heart for you. That they really care and they really want to see you progress. So that's mentorship, according to me. Anything you would like to add, Syed?
Mentorship is just basically finding someone whom you look up to and whom you think is has the life path that you would like to follow. So if you're following that, if you look up to that person, if you want to follow in their footsteps, just go ahead, ask them questions. Mentorship is all about being open towards someone. It's like a gurukul. It's like a school. So you've just got to open yourself up to someone, ask them questions genuinely, and people who are experienced would love to answer you. They would love to help you. And sometimes you would meet mentors who are kind of douchey. They would not help you. They would ask you money a lot. I keep coming across such people on Instagram. They've written 500 rupees for a question. What does that mean? I mean, you're running a shop there. What are you trying to do? You just help people, man. Come on, where's the value? So that's not business. They're just trying to rip people off of their money. That's not
Yes,
value.
true.
So mentorship is if you're trying. If I don't know if this person is trying to become a mentor or they're trying to search for a mentor. If you're trying to become a mentor, just try to help people genuinely. If you're trying to search for a mentor, just look for people who are genuinely trying to help you without any greed. Then we have
Yes.
a question from Anupam as well, Urvashi. I
Mhm.
pinned this
Yes.
question here. Anupam feels
Yes.
demotivated at times for not getting promotion to the next level. How to overcome?
Let's say, yes, let's say you are running a race and you broke your leg. What do you do? Do you just sit there and cry or do you still start running? So I think promotion is just, when you got hurt, when you fell or something like that. you still got to run. You can't keep thinking about, oh my god, it's paining, it's hurting. The more you think about it, the more it will pain. So if you just stay focused on your growth and also understand the company side. I'm going to look at both the pictures. Sometimes companies are also facing a lot of issues because of this current situation. They're still trying to pay a salary from their own pockets at times. So you also need to understand that whether the time is wrong or whether is it something that you can work on. So see both the things. Keep working, keep analyzing that. Okay, was it something that I did wrong? How can I work on something? Is the company being mean to you unnecessarily and not giving you a promotion even when they can? Then you can look for other companies. So if you just need to change your direction, you're looking at, oh my god, I got hurt. And if you sit there and start putting a band-aid on your hurt, you're losing out on the race. So let it be, let it bleed, and start running. That would be my personal approach on things.
Love that. That was a brilliant analogy that you gave. I've known Anupam for like more than 10 years now. He's a good friend of mine. And I know that Anupam has got a lot of value when it comes as an employee of an organization. I know that he can deliver great results. So I'm sure there must be something, some internal conflicts or something going on in his organization that he's not getting those results. Otherwise, Anupam he's a very talented guy. So Anupam, what my suggestion to you is, as Urvashi said, you've got to look at all channels. Maybe there's something going on internally. Maybe if the organization is hiring external employees at managerial positions, so maybe you can question the HR or maybe you can question your management that why are you hiring people at management positions from outside when we've got capable people internally. So you've got to speak up. That's essential to job growth. You've got to speak up. Another question that I saw here, Urvashi, was someone
Tips for
said, "What are your
freelancers.
tips for freelance?"
Hmm. Yes.
So you want to take that one?
Okay, so personally, since I prefer freelancing over entrepreneurship and a job, is because I love my time and I want to, continue using my time for the things that I love to do. Freelancing benefits is that you get to work on something that you love to do and you don't have to worry about other things. Like as a freelance trainer, I get to train. And as an entrepreneur, I also have to look at other things like sales and marketing and operations and finance and so many other things. So freelancing gives you that. That is the best thing. The biggest, I think the problem of a freelancer is that you don't know how much are you going to earn by the end of the month, by the end of the year. So the planning kind of gets hampered. I mean, you don't know how much to save for your taxes and how to manage your finances, and even sometimes you're worried that what if I don't earn enough next month? How will I make my ends meet? So here, what really you need is the daily dose of motivation. Have someone with you who can, still motivate you that it's okay, even if the situations are bad. You continue looking for the opportunities. And for me, the opportunities comes with networking. So with your free time, instead of getting demotivated and saying that, hey, you know what, I don't have much opportunities, I keep talking to people. It's simple. You don't have to have an intention that, okay, he's going to hire me or something, or I'm going to get something from him. Just keep networking with people, and somewhere or the other opportunity would pop up. So that's the tip that's something that has helped me personally for freelancing. Anything you would like to add, since you have much more experience in the training domain and maybe but you work with many freelancers. So any tips that you would like to add?
So Manish is asking that they meant to ask how to uh, how to create value. How do you create value in the market? That
In the
was the question.
market?
So
Okay.
in order to create value in the market, as always, you have to give people results. If you do not have any clients right now, do not wait for the client to come to you. Start offering services to people for free. Don't think that if you're offering services to people for free, you're losing out on money, because right now you do not have anything. So there's a process. I call this process the 0, 1, 2, 3 process. When you're at level 0, You need to work on your knowledge. You need to work on your skills. You need to work on your abilities. You need to work on your, I call them CODA skills. So that's basically behavior. CODA is confidence, optimism, development, and amiableness, which means how friendly
Okay.
you are with people. And of course,
Mm.
as Urvashi very correctly said, you need to develop a network. So that's level zero. You need to reach out to people, start offering them services. Even if you have to offer them services for free, do that. Do not think that you're losing out on, you're not losing value, because once you've got, let's say, three people that you've offered services to, the fourth person that you approach, you can tell that fourth person that you've already worked with those three people. So you've already leveled up,
Exactly.
as Urvashi said. And I'm just adding to your points. You've already
Yes.
covered the base.
I think that has
So
personally helped me a lot doing free sessions at the beginning, because nobody would trust me initially when I started as a trainer. I was very young, and then people had their doubts, and I don't blame them for that. So initially, if you trust that you are creating value and that you're really good with what you've done, you've really put in your heart and soul and worked hard, you should not be afraid of giving it for free, because only then people would start trusting you. And when you give them the value, they will see the value, and then they will hire you. So I think what you said has definitely worked for me. Abhishek has
absolutely. I
also
would just
asked
add
one
on.
question. Yes, please, please.
Yeah, I was just add on a couple of more things to that. Uh, Another thing is that make sure that you get connected to people who are already there, who already built a brand. So let's say you're into the training and development domain. So you're more than welcome to come to me, join my network of trainers, and we'd help you grow. We'd help you develop your skills. Another thing is that make sure whatever value you're delivering or whatever knowledge you're imparting, or whichever field you're in, whether it's graphic design or training or teaching, make sure that you're at the A game of it, you're at the apex of it. Because last week or last to last week, I was listening to someone talk, and they were talking about Albert Mehrabian, and they called Albert Mehrabian Albert Meherban. So, if you make those mistakes, and if that was not a slip of tongue, they did not know Albert Mehrabian. So if you're going to make those mistakes, somebody like me is never going to contact you again. So you need to cover those bases as well. So Urvashi, this is, I think, the last question for the day. We've got this question for you: how networking gives you the edge to the upcoming startups?
Upcoming startups.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. People don't buy a service and product. People buy people. That's the quote. I can't remember the exact quote. So let's say if there's a new startup, unless I hear it from a word of mouth, unless I hear it from someone that this is good, I wouldn't trust that. So when you go for networking as a startup founder, you tell your service, and if they like you, they like your service and your product. And that is how you get the word out in the market. So that's where networking helps even for startups and entrepreneurs to make people trust your product and service. So it's very evident that unless a company has a face value, the response is very different when you have a face value. For example, Elon Musk. So today, if Elon Musk wants to sell anything, people will buy because people trust him. Maybe not his product, but they trust him. Even if he's selling, I don't know, he's selling a cap or something recently, and it went out of
Yeah.
stock very soon. So that's how the face value comes into picture, and the face value grows when you network with people. So as a startup
Yeah.
founder, if you're just in your cocoon, not going out and telling people, and you think that digital marketing would do the thing, it's not so. Because even if I see an ad multiple times, I often trust when I hear it from people. If I want to have a service, instead of going and googling about it, where can I find, I don't know, a parlor salon, I'll ask my friends first about it. So if you are in a network with my friend, they will recommend me you, and then I'll trust you. So that's how networking works.
Completely works 100% of the times.
Is
It's an
there a thing
integral part of
credible networking? Yeah, said
I was just saying that it works 100% of the times. It's an integral part of sales.
I'm not
However, we
able
do
to
not have the
hear.
time to take that. I'm sorry, Urvashi, you're breaking up now. Okay, I think there's a network disturbance here. Urvashi, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me,
I'm not
Urvashi?
able to hear you clearly, actually. Are you guys able to hear him? Is it, I don't know, the network issue is at my end.
I don't know.
I think it's better now.
Yes, I
No, it's
suppose
gone.
so. Anyways, I was just saying that we've run out of time on today's session. What we can do is we can ask people to drop in their questions on either your DM or my DM, and we can collect these questions and we can plan a free webinar for people where we can answer all these career related, job related questions for people. What do you say?
Okay. So I think what I understood is that we're planning a webinar soon because the time's running up. I just saw it's 6:54 already, and Instagram only has 1 hour of live session permitted. So yeah, I mean we can do a webinar and we can discuss more on this. If people have questions, they can already DM us. And I think there's a lot to learn from you as well. And we can do a webinar. That
People
would be
have a
great
lot to learn from you actually.
without the
And I
time
can also
limit by
add,
Instagram.
Urvashi, it was
Guys, you can
great
give us
having
a
you
thumbs
on.
up and maybe the hearts to let us know that you're excited for a webinar. Yeah. Yes, we can see some hearts popping up. So glad to
Yes,
see that people
people
are
are excited about
interested
it.
for a webinar. Let us plan something.
For sure. Thank you so much, Urvashi, for taking out the time and connecting. It was great talking to you. 1 hour flew by like this. So I'm sure we can provide great value to people. And people, just direct your questions at us. If you've got any career related, job related questions, just throw them at me, throw them at Urvashi. We'll plan out a webinar for you and we'll answer all of your questions in that webinar.
Yes.
All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much, Urvashi. Thank you. Take care. Bye
Yes,
bye.
love to see that. Thank you, Syed, for having me. Lovely speaking with you and answering all the questions as well. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.